Welcome to another adventure of From the Park Bench with me, your host, Scott Bush. And it is July 16th, 2025, and it's very hot and muggy outside. Very hot day in the park, so we'll move things right along. My guest today is Alexis Hirsig, and Alexis is with Powerhouse Partners. And we're interested in what Alexis has to tell us about YPN, the Young Professionals Network, and also why it's important to get involved in organized real estate, and why that might be so important for younger agents, because I'm learning here too. You know, I'm kind of the old guard. I remember when I was young and new in this association 40 years ago. So I was hired when I was 26 years old, and I'll be 67 on Sundays. So a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things have also sort of remained the same when it comes to basically how people want to be treated and so forth in the real estate business. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about you today. And you know, when you decided to get involved and you've excelled to leadership in many roles, you know, was there a moment that pushed you along where you said, you know, I'm going to do this, or I'm okay doing this? You know, what was your motivation to get involved?
Yeah, so I'll kind of start from the beginning. So I actually attended my first WRA conference in 2021 when Brad Loyce was getting installed. And I saw all of his 30 under 30 friends come up and speak, and I'm sure both of you were at the conference then. And I had asked him, and I had talked with him, and I was like, how do I get involved, and how do I kind of be one of these people and a leader in our industry? And he is the one who actually suggested for me to get involved with YPN. So I went to one meeting, and then I ended up being on the board very shortly after that.
It's funny how that works, because the more you show up for something, they'll say, you're going to be our next leader. You know,
yeah, you start to get voluntold for things.
Yeah, voluntold. That's exactly.
But you never know where it's going to take you in life,
right?
And who you're going to meet.
Well, I've been involved with, of course, over the last 40 years, with many of our members who have been involved with the association or other outside activities, and there is a benefit to it. So, what does it bring to your business?
Yeah, and that's a great question, because I get asked that all the time. Is, you know, I spend all this time and I'm in leadership, but what am I actually getting out of it? So when you're in leadership, yes, you're not getting leads. It's not coming to you to grow your business. But what it is growing is a connection in the industry. We all work together either on the buyer side or the seller side, and we have to communicate with each other back and forth. And when you're in leadership and when you're going to events, you're seeing the same people over and over. And that's going to help you grow in your business. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons it's helped me and mine, is that because I get to meet other agents, we get to collaborate, and we actually get to see each other's face to face, because so commonly through the transaction, you never meet them until closing, and sometimes you don't even meet them at closing. So it's just that nice time to be able to just collaborate and have those conversations.
A lot of people in leadership, they certainly have their plaques on the walls and they have their titles, but in reality, you know, what has it done for you as far as your career?
Yeah, it's brought me into a whole new lot of places, I will say that. I have met some amazing people from across the entire U.S., and it's helped kind of push me in my own personal business, because I've always been a natural born leader throughout my entire life, high school, college, now my career, and it's so rewarding to be able to see and interact with those people of like, okay, I met you at this point at this one event, and now we're business partners. I look at Alex for the example. Like
your business partner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alex Doreen's my business partner. We met at a networking event. So it's just showing up and being involved, because you never know who you're going to meet and how they're going to impact your life.
Sounds like you might have just answered my next question. You know, and that is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get involved in organized real estate, whether it's YPN or their community or?
Yeah, I would say just go for it. I really would. Just start going to some type of event that interests you, and it could be a variety. I mean, there's so many different organizations, and I know GMAR itself has so many organizations, and you can share a few of those that people could get involved with. But YPN's another one, Women's Council, anything that makes a difference in our community and in our industry. But you just have to start. You just have to go to the event.
And quite honestly, there is a benefit to it, because the more connections you make, the the more you can build your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, by making those contacts. So, YPN, if someone wants to get involved, how do they get involved with YPN? And by the way, there's not an age cutoff, right? Because I mean, they let me in when I want to go to an event. And
Yeah, so I was the 2024 chair of YPN. Alex Doreen is the current 2025. They do an application process in the fall. So I'd be on the lookout, follow them on their social media, GMAR.YPN on Instagram. They're going to post when they do their applications. It is an application process, so put it out there. And all you can do is try, because they also have committees, other ways to get involved. But if you're not even interested in the leadership, just start going to the events, because that exposure and the people you meet, I promise you, you won't regret it.
you know, I want to give a shout out to YPN because I know the YPN group is also very much involved in the community. And at one of your, you can tell me the event, but you raised about $30,000 for the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative.
Yeah, so it's actually coming up. It's in about 2 weeks. So it's
I'll be
the
there.
Night in White. Yeah, I can't wait. A Night in White is a benefit to the Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative. Yeah, last year we raised $30,000 for charity as a self-organized group.
Absolutely incredible. So, anything else you'd like to add, Alexis?
If this isn't your sign to get involved, it really should be, because just go for it. I promise you won't regret it. You're always more than welcome to reach out to me if you ever have any type of leadership questions or want to get more involved. I'm more than happy to be a resource.
And how can they reach out to you?
You can find my email in the MLS, or you can follow me on Instagram, which I'm Milwaukee Realtor Alexis on Instagram.
Thank you very much for visiting us today in the park.
Thanks for having me. You picked a great spot.